Aloha, this is Congressman Mark Takai speaking to you from Washington, D.C. I apologize for not being able to attend in person, as I know how important these listening sessions are for the community. As your newest member of Congress, I am already putting aside the partisan gridlock that has plagued Congress for too long and getting right to work. My first week in Congress climaxed with a key appointment to the House Armed Services Committee. Among my priorities during my time in Washington is the preservation of military force structure in Hawaii. Defense spending in Hawaii makes up around 18% of the state's economy and affects every other economic sector. So while I agree that we need to search for ways to diversify our economy, a gradual transition is necessary, which makes it crucially important to preserve what we have now. Across-the-board spending cuts will return in 2016 and beyond, forcing the military to make tough decisions about where and when it will sustain the reductions. The Army must cut its overall force structure by almost 80,000 to achieve the savings required by the Budget Control Act of 2011. While a last-minute budget deal staved off some of the most harmful cuts in 2014 and 15, we cannot anticipate these last-minute solutions to continue if we only kick the can down the road. Last year, the Army outlined the Army Force Structure 2020 Realignment Initiative. Though no final decision has been made, a worst-case scenario was laid out that would be catastrophic for Hawaii. This option would result in a reduction of almost 20,000 soldiers and civilians from Fort Shafter and Schofield Barracks, along with another 30,000 of their family members. The communities on the west side of Oahu, around Schofield Barracks, would lose approximately 30% of their population, causing an annual economic loss to the state of about $1.35 billion. Cuts like this would be harmful for Hawaii's economy, put many communities around these bases at risk, and be out of line with our recently adjusted national defense strategy. Let me say this to the Army leadership and to everyone listening in the audience. We need the Army to stay put, not only for the economic benefits of our communities, but for the overall security of the nation. I understand how the Army evaluates locations to place force structure on costs, ability to train, and overall support for the community. Through my seat on the House Armed Services Committee, I'm committed to working with you to make sure that Hawaii is on top of all of these objectives. I'll continue to work with everyone in the delegation to ensure that we save money where we can. We plan to focus on responsible, efficient initiatives that will cut wasteful spending. These efficiencies can then serve as an alternative to these tough choices without harming our national security and putting our state's communities at risk. The Army must continue to use the strategic location of Hawaii to serve its needs. The Obama administration has announced the rebalance to the Asia Pacific, and Hawaii is the perfect place to ensure that our troops are ready to meet the challenges of this arena. Hawaii is the only place in the United States where Army troops can train in canopy jungle, which is evidenced by the recent resurrection of the Jungle Operations Training Course around Oahu. This will lead to a more responsive and prepared force in the Pacific Theater. Puakaloa Training Area on the Big Island provides the ability to train large maneuver brigades in live fire exercises, and we're currently looking at ways to reduce the cost of training there and everywhere else in Hawaii. While we have had challenges in the past, I am optimistic about the future. When military leadership and community leaders put our heads together, we have made a lot of progress. I have heard from many of my constituents in Hawaii, and the verdict is clear. We want the Army to stay. Know that I will continue to pledge my unwavering support for meeting the challenges of the 21st century with the Army in Hawaii. Hawaii is your home. Stay put. Mahalo for the opportunity to speak to you today. Aloha.